Our next guest is a prominent Pinoy vlogger. Hindi ba ko kompleto ang mga pagbabalita o mga pagba-vlogs ng mga YouTube vloggers sa kasalukuyang panahon kung hindi tayo sumisilip o kung hindi natin natadaanan ang pangalang ito. Siya yung hindi lang siya yung basta kagaya natin na nagsasalita tungkol sa pageant. Siya yung talagang he mingles with the beauty candidates, with the beauty pageant candidates, with the organizers and so on and so forth. Siya talaga yung malapit dun sa pusod nung mga napapanood natin mga beauty pageants. Alright? Okay, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, palakpakan natin si Tito Norman, or mas kilala sa kanya mga vlogs na NormanNorman. Ha? Ito na siya. Teka, nakamute. Okay. Okay, Tito, go.
Hello, Robato. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
And good afternoon. Kahit saan kayong parte ng mundo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Kumusta po kayo? And this is my first time to guest on the very popular Robatology.
Yes, go.
Show of our host. And I do hope that we can have a very exciting discussion this afternoon about pageantry and about your plans to become the most popular celebrity vlogger in the universe.
Okay, huwag na tayong magpapalayo-layo pa. Don't beat around the bush na tayo. Let's start with, when did you start doing pageant vlogs dito? Or pageant vlogs?
Actually, you said 2005 earlier, but actually I formally started my vlogging back in 2009 because that was the year when blogs are really becoming more popular. Mm-hmm. Although before that, I was already writing articles for Mabuhay pageants, and which dates back to the late 90s. So it was only in 2009 that I formally started my blog, and it was literally blood, sweat, and tears yon, because you don't start a blog and expect to get so many readers and followers instantly. You really have to invest a lot.
Yes.
Oo. Kung na nagsabi, hindi ka naman naghahabol palagi sa pera. It's the passion and the dedication to actually do it, because ang dami mga vlogs kasi ngayon na it's the writing part that is really not easy to comply with, because you can post all the photos, you can post all the videos, but to actually write about it takes a certain kind of discipline.
True.
Hindi madali. Kaya nga ako, my running joke with Miss Universe Philippines is that they keep on asking me, what's your advocacy in life? My advocacy is reading literacy, because I want young kids to learn reading at a very, very early age so that they become good writers and communicators when they grow up. Because I grew up surrounded by books, and the first biggest gift that I received as a kid was a typewriter. So with that combination alone, you learn to read, you learn to type, you learn to write, and then I started writing speeches for my dad, who was in public office then. So the love for writing actually, it stuck since then.
What was the first pageant article that you have written?
It's about Bianca Manalo in Miss Universe 2009, actually. Actually, that's what I can remember distinctly. That was one of the motivations to start my blog then, because I was so intrigued that Bianca Manalo went to South America to train, and there was this video and article then in Latin American pages wherein she got her injections on her waist to really trim her body and everything. So that really started me off. Wow, this is such an interesting story. So I started writing about Miss Universe 2009, and then it just snowballed from there. Miss Universe and all the other pageants, tuloy-tuloy na yon.
First candidate interview na naaalala mo, yung talagang, wow, ano kayo, magkausap na talaga in person.
Oh my God, I should have prepared for this question.
You should have her in your mind because it's the very first one. If and only if you really don't like her.
No, because there were so many points in my life like, okay, sige, so ganyan rin lang naman pala, Robato, ha? When you say first that I was able to speak to face would be during the time that Miss Universe 1974 was held here in Manila. I was only barely 10 years old then. And I met all the candidates of Miss Universe 1974. They were billeted at the, now defunct Philippine Village Hotel. So, alam mo naman syempre, if you're barely 10 years old, the kind of talk that you would do with girls is very shallow. It's small talk lang talaga para, you're pretty. I wish I was as tall as you. I wish I had the color of your skin. Why are you not wearing deodorant?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I understand how you feel because kahit ako na lang, we didn't have television during that time, 1974. But I could still remember the names of the winners: Maureen Viera, Helen Morgan, Amparo Munoz, Miss
Cecilia Escandon.
Diba? So, naiingit ako sa'yo and you were able to penetrate that world at a very young age. How could you do that? Maybe your parents are into,
Actually, no. It's just that there are people in my life who would play important roles every so often. Like, I have an aunt who would always have meetings in different hotels then. So, knowing that I collected so many memorabilia about Miss Universe then, she would bring me. Okay, so she had the luncheon at Philippine Village Hotel. So, the girls of Miss Universe are there. Would you like to see them? Okay, so go. To be honest with you, Robert, the first significant one was 20 years later when Miss Universe 1994 was hosted again here in the Philippines. Because so many opportunities already came by then. My uncle then was a treasurer of the Manila Hotel. So he had a room to himself at Manila Hotel.
Okay.
And he offered me to stay there for a few days while the girls were there. So that afforded me a chance to actually talk to all the candidates. And the funny thing was that I spoke to almost all the candidates except the eventual winner. Except Sushmita Sen.
What happened?
Every time that I get to talk to the girls, the group of Miss India would be coming out or stepping out at the time that I was already speaking to other girls. So I would almost always miss her presence. Even if I wanted to catch her, I cannot run and pull her out of the bus. Talk to me. Because I was always leaning towards Minorca Mercado at that time.
Yes.
You can see this gigantic lady who's more than 6 feet tall and who's very nice. She doesn't speak a word much English, but I always warm up to her because she is just very aspirational. You always look up to her and see this goddess you're just speechless in front of her.
Okay, Tito. There are pageants that you could already have a hint of who might emerge as the winner. In 1994, did you have even the slightest idea, upon seeing Sushmita, that she would be the new Miss Universe?
No, actually, I just know deep in my heart that she will figure out well in the semifinals, but I was, as I've said earlier, I was really leaning on Minorca Mercado of Venezuela at that time, and the first runner-up, Carolina Gomez. I know that Sushmita was a very, she still is a very articulate speaker. I just wasn't sure if she would really register well with the panel of judges then. But I had a feeling she would do well, but not enough to win the crown.
Okay. Are there specific girls that right after the preliminary competition you already told yourself that, wow, I have a winner? This girl would win. Can you mention at least 3 girls that you had a solid 100% trust that she would win?
Any competition, regardless,
Any competition.
even if it's Binibining Pilipinas or whatever. Well, top of my head would always be Catriona Gray because during her time,
including
that's
Catriona. Everybody.
That's a given.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Pia, definitely. Pia, I already knew that she will win in her 3rd try.
Okay.
I had a feeling that her first and second tries will not be too fruitful, but I know that in her 3rd try she would win back in 2015. Actually, in Binibining Pilipinas, the successive wins of sila Zoraida Andam, the other Aces girls then, Jonah Cabrera, si Leah Ramos, I already knew that they will win Binibining Pilipinas Universe then.
Okay.
Hindi pa, ala pang finals, alam ko nang silang mananalo.
And also the one who we sent to Miss Universe pageant right after Miriam Kemba. Who was that? I thought she would make it there.
Nina Alagao.
Yes, I was very confident that she would win the crown.
I was very confident that she would make the first cut.
No, I mean
actually. For the national finals, she was head and shoulders above the rest of the candidates that year. So you can tell that everyone was just fighting for the 2nd and 3rd titles plus the runner-up positions because you can tell that Nina Alagao is in a league of her own. Ano ba yung sa Inglesan, Robato? Tagalog, naluloka ako.
Okay, taglisan lang tayo, oy. Okay, nako, biglayin natin si ating kumadre. What do you expect this coming Miss Universe Philippines 2020 finals?
Ay, handa ka na ba, Robato?
I think it's unfair for the very first girl who would answer because all of them heard the answer, right? So, makapaggawa ng sagot yung iba. If you would be given an authority to ask another question for those girls, ano ang ibibigay mong tanong?
Should I ask the question to you?
Hindi ka ba naapektuhan ng front-runner status ng candidates? In a way? Can you give us a hint of who the leading 5 girls are in your list? We have to end this with a bang. Get ready.
Okay.
Who is your last 2 standing?